Thanks a lot for coming in.
Good morning, happy to be here.
Something about this community appeals to you?
This is a wonderful place to live.
For Kelowna Now, this is Camp Mulgat. And we're joined by Daniel Joseph, the now former president of the EDA of the People's Party of Canada in Kelowna-Lake country. So you just became president in November, right?
That's correct, yes.
So tell us first, what drew you to the People's Party? What is it about this party that attracted you in the first place?
Absolutely. So I've been getting more and more involved in politics over the years. And when Max Brunet started the People's Party, he came out saying, I wanted to do politics differently. He said, I want to attract people from the left, from the right, and he had a strong fiscally conservative message that resonated with me. I wanted to see somebody come in there and show some real oversight and reform in federal government.
Fiscal conservatism, that's your thing.
Absolutely.
But there's all different kinds of conservatism. So what happened between November and now that's changed your view about the party?
Well, the party's been very volatile over the last couple of months, where we have gone through, I think we're on our third executive director, and provincially here, we're on our third provincial organizer. So what ended up happening is when I joined the party, everybody that I met in Kelowna-Lake country, in our membership base here, they were fiscally conservative. They wanted to really make a positive impact on Canadian federal politics. And I thought that, hey, I can work with these people. We can make a difference from the inside here. But over the last couple of months, with the changes in our executive directors and provincial organizers, we went from having just minor like these vocal minorities with some really strong racist views to now they're being put in positions of authority. So I'm having people put into positions of authority within the party with very hateful views and very negative views that I just can't associate myself with anymore.
Okay, so you as you made your decision to resign and leave the party, you put up a video in which you talk about racism and xenophobia and hatefulness, but there aren't a lot of real hard examples there. So I mean, is it fair for you to be, publicly brushing the members of the party in this way without real specifics? What did you hear? What did you see that you would describe as hateful or racist?
No, absolutely. And I think that it's really important for me to be the one stepping out and publicly denouncing this for the People's Party because, again, it's politics.
Were there things that were said that struck you as flat out racist?
Well, working with Glenn Walushka, one of the things that he really pushed was...
Okay, first of all, explain who Glenn Walushka is. He's now the...
Glenn Walushka is now the provincial organizer for the People's Party of Canada. So he was just another president, and he had a role of helping out the other EDAs get themselves set up here in the BC Interior. And then as we've gone through provincial organizers, he's actually, he was very proud to show off some of his emails of bullying some of the provincial organizers out of their roles so that he ended up taking that role.
Okay, so in your video, after you mentioned the racism, you do mention Glenn by name.
I do.
And he's replying, saying, no, this is baseless. So, what do you say to that? Do you have any sort of evidence to show that he truly, holds racist or hateful views?
Well, my experience working with him. So I've worked with a lot of racist people throughout my life. I've grown up in a small white town, and I've had to fight my way through every success that I've had. So when I work with people, you can tell what they're saying and how they're saying it, how they treat you around your peers, and what they say behind your back. And my board, we were a fairly close board. So what he was saying, he would often talk about me behind my back and try to work through my directors around me. And I often would have them come back and tell me some of the things that he was saying. And some of the things that I don't want to repeat, but he had some nasty things to say about me, simply based off the fact that, I wasn't the type of person he was hoping to be president of the EDA.
So how it would come to you is he wouldn't say something to your face, but he would say to someone else, and they'd tell you, oh, he just said that. So, I mean, that's a little difficult, but it became obvious to you that you were really the target of racism.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Yeah. So you would almost think if you're to set up a new right-wing party in any country, this is going to be an issue. There's going to be some people that are attracted to it thinking, hey, I'm racist and this is the party for me. So I guess the question is, how do you deal with it? And did you get the feeling that at the beginning, at least, that was being dealt with properly?
Well, at the beginning, absolutely. We had we had stronger leaders in place that tried to distance themselves and push themselves away from all the far right, from some of the vocal racist factions that jumped into the party. We definitely had people like Shannon Cooley trying to distance the party from those little factions. But over the last couple of months, with the change in leadership, constant change in leadership, it's gone from distancing ourselves from those racist and hateful views to embracing them. And that's what really, like that struck a deep chord with me, because I don't want to see that in a national party.
Right. So, and as far as the national party is concerned, given your own experience here locally, do you still think that this party has a chance to grow and play a major role in the upcoming federal election?
Not without some drastic change. No, because right now what's happening is this isn't an isolated event. There are other presidents, there are other members, there are other founding members of this party who are leaving in droves because of the way it's been mismanaged, because of people like Glenn who are being put in these positions and are exerting themselves over.
So what would it need? More sort of national management, in terms of how these individual EDAs should be run? Like how do they avoid this sort of thing from happening?
Well, I think communicate. So I've been in management for years, and one of the most important things is communication, and especially communication from above. So Max Bernay, he's playing a very tricky game where he's renouncing some parts of the racism and hatred, but then he kind of keeps himself away from most of it, letting it just run amok. And for me, this is an opportunity for Max to step up and really show his leadership and say, this is what I want to see in my party, and these types of people I do not want in my party.
So since you sort of publicly announced your departure and why you're leaving, what sort of reaction have you had from people who, have been interested in the party up to now?
Well, I've had a mixed bag of reactions. I've had a lot of people tell me that, hey, this isn't, like, you should have waited until after the election. You're going to really hurt this party, and at least, waited until they've had an opportunity to run in a general election, to make a name for themselves before you go and publicly denounce them. But then I've also had a lot of people come and support me and say, hey, I'm thinking about leaving, or I just left this party because we're seeing some of this hateful and we're seeing some of this racist and xenophobic rhetoric, and how it's being amplified now, and it's not being, the party's not trying to find distance from it.
But you've had some pretty angry correspondents?
I sure have. I've had some people who have, they're telling me now that I'm the reason, if we don't win a seat in the general election, it's my fault. Now, that's what I'm getting, some really aggressive comments.
But any regrets for what you've done?
Not at all. No, because I still believe in Canadian politics. I believe in the people that we have here in this country, and I believe in our ability to show a stable and strong level of government and strong political discourse, and not what I'm seeing right now.
So you're a political guy. You're going to probably vote for somebody. What party are you going to shift your allegiance to now?
Well, I'm really excited to see the nominees that are coming out here in Kelowna-Lake country, because we still have, a couple of nominations being contested.
Like for the Conservative Party?
There's definitely being contested between Tracy and Renee right now.
Yeah.
So it's exciting to see who ends up coming out for all the parties, seeing who's there representing them, getting to meet them, interact with them, because for me, I think, the party can only do and say so much. It's really the person that we're voting for, the person that we get to hold accountable with our vote, right?
Terrific. Hey, well, thanks for coming in and explaining everything that happened over there.
Absolutely.
With the People's Party. And thank you for watching Kelowna Now.